see if I can get this set up here. There is going to be, there's like nobody in here right now, and I kind of expected that, which is not a big deal. This is not about anything other than me just following my heart, so I will keep looking left that way, just to warn you. I have a 11-week-old puppy, so I will be looking that way to check on her periodically because she's in the living room and she's blocked out of here. And also, I might also have to answer a guest's request because I am technically at work. So there is that. Trying to play with my camera here to get it set up right. I haven't done this in a while, so anyways, it probably won't, no one will probably come in here until it actually notifies, which I don't know if it's going to notify anyone. The notifications have been not going out. I checked it on my other channel just to see if I got a notification, and I did not. So I'm not sure what that's about, but so I'm just going to sit here and fiddle with my hair because I haven't looked at myself in a long time. So I'm sitting here. Oh, gotta be careful not to pull my earbud out. Yeah, like I've looked at myself filming, I should say, because I do produce a few things on TikTok, but not that much anymore. So here, I know people might rewatch this, so I think I can turn the camera around and show you real quick. I don't know if I can get this up high enough. It's hooked to a bunch of cords. That's Penelope. So she's being a good girl, just chewing. Yeah, you're being a good girl. She heard me say good girl. You know what that is, don't you, sweetie? All right, so I just figured I'd show that to whoever rewatches this, because I fully expect no one to show up, just because the fact that the notifications, I think I may have zoomed in. It looks like maybe I zoomed in because this is moving really weird. But anyways, I will wait until 6:30 exactly, which I don't have. There it is. Okay, yeah, we've got one more minute, and then it will actually put out that the live has started, and then maybe I can go from there, and maybe there will be somebody showing up. If not, no big deal. So, oh, it just clicked on 6:30. So, honestly, don't have anything prescribed to say. I just wanted to let me push this back a little bit. Maybe that's what it is. Something bugging me about it. I don't know what it is. Probably the lighting, but I'm not sure. It's got some of these new little doohickeys off to the side. I have no idea what they are. I'll play with them for a minute. Oh, okay, so okay, so that's all that is. Okay. That's weird. But anyways, it says that there is one person in the room because the notifications are probably going out now. So that's fine. I am using my not so great camera. I'm just using my phone, and as you can see, I still have the same wire that I had before because I haven't invested in a new phone since I got this job, and I've literally been working here for 2.5 years. It was 2 years in July, June, yeah, July, August, September. So yeah, not quite. So just right at 2 years. It was in June, I think. Yeah, is it 2 or 3? I don't know. I can't really tell. Time is so relative and so weird these days. But I know I've been here for a while. Let's put it that way. I think I might have just celebrated my. No, it's my 2nd year because she's only owned the motel for. In May, it was her third year. So this is my 2nd year. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Anyways, I've been here for a while. Let's just put it that way. The reason why I wanted to do this was simply a heart move on my part. There's no other reason for it except for to share myself and to open up this information and see if it resonates with anybody. I said at the beginning of the video that I would be looking left quite a bit, and that you also might hear a doorbell go bing bong, and that means I have to answer the lobby because I am working, so guests can come into the lobby to seek a room. So that could happen. But I'm going to make this short and sweet. I won't be here for very long, I don't think. The biggest reason why I'm doing this, the main reason, is for, I don't know, about probably, for me it's been the whole time on and off. There has been this residual connection to all of you, and it has been things that I've had to move out of it in order to fall in love with myself and to go inside to do the internal work that needed to be done. This whole year has been, I labeled it Shannon 3.0. I have been completely and solely focusing on falling in love with myself and building that union within, and it is in a very good place right now. I've been focusing on my health. I've been focusing on everything that serves self and brings me to the best version of myself in this now moment. That's been the focus for the whole year. I've had lots and lots of confirmations about that, this year being that, things about butterfly wings and coming out of the cocoon, and it's all coincided with all the incredible supermoons, the portals we've been having, all these types of things over the last year have been coming together. And I didn't think that this would be happening now. I didn't think that I would be moving in any direction whatsoever until actually this entire year was over. But something has occurred even in my personal life that has made it obvious that it's not a year in the actual time of it, I guess, the actual 12 months of a year. But for me, I've had this connection. It's never gone away. I have always been in love with all of y'all the entire time, regardless of what has occurred. And I did move away and disconnect and let go of all of attachments, all connections, in order to let what was supposed to come in, not come back in, but for all the new to come in. And it's been on my heart for probably the last 4 or 5 weeks, but really strongly the last 2 weeks, and extremely potently in the last week, where I have been having dreams, day visions, not waking dreams. All of my my feeds on my computer, on my phone, things have come across me that have been bringing connection that we all share with one another. And I want to open this format up, and I don't know if I'll get into it tonight or not. I will leave that to be in its natural state. I don't know how much time I'll have because I'm at work. I could get interrupted. And I am also caring for an 11-week-old puppy, which I will keep looking that way. If you want to see her at the beginning of the video, before anybody was in here, I did flip the camera. She was being a good little girl sitting on the floor chewing her toys. So she's a half Jack Russell and half Shih Tzu, if you can imagine that. She's the goofiest, cutest little thing. But I wanted to bring forward just this information to see if it resonated with any of you. Okay, so now I just got my notification, just popped up. It's sent to me just now. Okay, so what, about 5 minutes after it started? Cool. Maybe some people will get notifications, maybe they won't. Like I said in the beginning, this isn't about a response. I'm doing this to follow my own heart path. And I have tried in the last couple of weeks to understand why this is exhuming itself, coming back into my heart, believing that maybe it was something I needed to work through in order to release, but it feels very much like a reunion, a reconnection. This feels like something new, and I know that for myself, I can speak absolutely that I'm in this now moment, I'm a completely new person. I'm not the same, I believe, that I was before when we crossed paths the first time. And I know that you're not. And I've wrestled with many things, had some beautiful things occur, as I'm sure you have. But one thing that's never left me is this residing feeling that the connections that we've had with each other were so much more than just all of us choosing a path that brought us together, or choosing a person that brought us together, or choosing a channel that brought us together, or choosing whatever it is that you chose in order for us to become connected to one another. It is my heart's belief that we are a very, very old soul family that has been connected to one another through many times, in many incarnations, and in many ways. And that we connected in this way at this time to do what we came to do during this moment, this now moment that's going on this planet. And I've been seeing lots of beautiful things occurring in my auric field. I don't know about you, but I also see all the things that would be less preferable to me out there as well. But I have a completely different heart perspective than I did going into this. And I'm sure many of you do too. And that's another reason why I wanted to reach out just on a personal level. I would love to hear about that. I would love for us to be able to get together and chat and kind of, express where we all are right now, if this resonates with anyone. But if you have felt a resurgence of connection in any way, shape, or form with the beloveds that I'm speaking of, and I didn't say anything on TikTok, but I could say it on here. Anybody who was connected to, Raven Rock Ranch, anybody who was connected to, Monument Valley, any of the things that happened out here in the desert, just even if you were only connected to it by, being virtually present and watching it and following along. And I don't want to specifically pull out any type of venue that brought you to the connection that we have. I mean, there's just, and I can name people's names. There are beautiful people that are still very deeply embedded in my heart, and their names are still embedded in my heart. I mean, there's Gemma, there's Robert, there's Dory, there's, Suzanne, there's Sarah, there's just tons, and you know who you are if you have this, if you've had this connection. The reason why I'm reaching out is because, first of all, I would like to explain to you how my perspective has changed. My outlook on what's happening and what we're all doing with each other from when I first started out on this journey with you all is completely different than it was. I feel like I started on one trajectory, and a lot of people stayed on that trajectory, and I think we've all been traveling kind of where we're still in, in eye's view of each other, but on different timelines, for lack of a better word, if you will, than the one I started out on. That timeline is still running, and I see it. I've witnessed it. I can see it in the co-creation that we're doing, but it is no longer where my energy exists. I have moved from that original idea that, for myself personally, starting out with having the Bible debunked, so to speak, and feeling that in my heart and having it resonate and come into the outer and connecting with other liked beloveds that had the same type of interaction with that. Starting out with that to the whole perspective of the times that we're in and the way things look, all the things that we've had going on, we've had, the viruses, we've had all kinds of things are going on in this world. And my perspective before was to go underground and to detach from all of that and serve some purpose on a biblical level sense, if you will, not necessarily biblically focused, like just from scripture out of the Bible, but all scriptures, the Quran, Thoth, Course in Miracles, they're all the scriptures, all the writings that were coming forward. My perspective was very much so to commune with all of my beloveds, to create an environment where we could all be together in our like-mindedness and our love for one another and protect one another and to hunker down and withstand what was coming. That was my perspective. My perspective is nothing like that anymore. Nothing. Like all things in my personal journey, and this is just mine, I end up being presented with something, I absorb it to the ceiling, and then I push through the top. It seems like my whole journey has been understanding that there is no destination. And so it seems like I started on that trajectory, and I ended up on this timeline, and then this one, and then this one, and this one. I have skipped what you would call timelines, if you will. I mean, there's different words we can use for it, but I have skipped energetic signatures many times since that original. I mean, what was it, 8 years ago that this all started? For many of you, maybe a couple of years more, maybe a couple of years less, but somewhere in there. I started on this journey emotionally and electronically about, I think it was probably about 3 years before I left Canada. So I'm looking at probably, about 8 or 9 years since I made connections with all of you beautiful, incredible beings of light that I absolutely freaking adore. And that has not changed for me, not changed one bit, regardless of the shit show that we went through. And that's another thing that I'm going to do here if I continue, if I get any response. If I don't, I'm not going to worry about it. But I'm going to be very open and honest with my perspective and my experience of the things that we've been through together and maybe just witnessed with one another. My personal feeling was like I fell in love with a group of people that were like people that I'd been longing for my entire existence on this planet Earth. And when I connected with all of them, I ran, and I ran easily because I knew this was the direction I was supposed to go in. And having that incredible foundational connectedness blown to shit. That's what it feels like for me. I've worked through a lot of woundedness. I've worked through a lot of pain, abandonment, just the feelings of being, just, I'm sure all of you can relate to this. And if there is anyone else that has experienced this and it has been this deeply moving in their journey, that's why I'm here, because I felt this very strong pull to just get up and make a live and talk about it and open up the floor for this idea, because my heart, and I had to look at it and I had to come out of my box, because trust me, I fought doing this video for probably 2 weeks. I put it off, I made a TikTok about it, then I canceled it, then I just put it off and then 9/11 came around and the 9/9 portal, and it worked out perfectly. I have been avoiding this because, for the same reasons many of you might be feeling, a little bit like, yeah, I've done all this beautiful internal work. My life is extremely peaceful right now, extremely joyous, filled mostly with a lot of work on the internal being, definitely. And I've had really low goes with that and highs as well. But for the most part, I have the most profound love and the profoundest peace within myself. And the inner of my kingdom is become manifest in the outer in so many ways that my life is actually quite beautiful. It is just, I couldn't be happier with the way things are. And it's been a long and hard journey. And there's a part of me that is still connected to all of this. And I've tried to let go. I did let go of it. I believed I was supposed to let go of it in order to heal, which was true. But it snapped back like a spiritual yo-yo. Every time I would hit a plethora or a threshold in my own internal kingdom, there you all would be in my heart. Profoundly, not just lightly or like nostalgia. Profoundly in my heart as much as I'm in my own heart. And this occurred each time I went through each one of these processes. And now I'm in this place now where I feel like I'm ready for the magic to pop again. I'm ready for something to come in, for that inertia, that wave to come in my life, having nothing to do with anything from the past, just in that place of readiness. And this started to come up and about, and I questioned myself, and I went within, and I did a lot of meditating on it, and spoke with the ethereal connectedness of the I am presence. And it's still there. So I'm just conjecturing that maybe for none of you, you feel this way. That's fine. This is just for me to express then and move forward. But I still feel drawn to creating community with all of you. I still feel drawn to creating physical community. That's why I'm in the desert in the first place. My whole trajectory was getting to a point where we would all be communing with one another and building a kingdom and a queendom that supported all of our likened views, and where we could love and support one another and do what we're all doing. We're already doing it. I know this. I know you're all doing beautiful light work, grid work. You are, transferring into your heart center as opposed to being an all mind center, ego driven. So you're already doing the work. I know we all are. We look around you. If you have the eyes to see, this planet is changing. And there are beautiful things taking place if you're on the right frequency to see them. If you're on the right frequency to see them, you see them, but you're also aware of the less preferred, lower vibrational things that are going on as all. I know that I am. I'm fully aware of it. I fully see it. I accept it. I love it. I will not give my energy to it. I only give my energy to what I want to see, and I'm being what I want to see. And I know many of you are as well. We've been doing this singularly out in the aftermath of what occurred, and we're doing a wonderful job. But this is an incredible time of union, and that's why I called this video Reunion, because there may be some involved in it. It may be all beautiful, brand spanking new unions, and that's fine too. Hello Denise, I have no problem with that whatsoever, none. I have no marriage to the outcome of anything anymore. Do I have hope? Do I have expectation? Yes. And what still gets me really fired up is creating a space where oddballs like ourselves can commune together, possibly physically and permanently in a living circumstance, if not just in a intermittent place where we can meet together and we can grow and we can do the same things we're doing now, only as a united group of soul family. In relationships, both romantic and friendship and brother-sisterships, I have been talking about this for a long time. Not from the beginning. From the beginning, like I said, my perspective was very based on, the world's going to shit. It's going to hell in a handbasket. Let's all hunker down, get under the radar, and do what we have to do to withstand this and be the true believers that we are. And that, in my mind, I believed mayhem was going to have to happen, and the world was going to go, I just believed in all of the turbulence, the revelation-minded thing. That's what I was putting my energy in, and that is what I was seeing. I can tell you now that is not what I see. What I see is a benevolence, a lightened load, a rising of humanity's love for one another, more acceptance, more inclusiveness. I'm seeing this everywhere all around me. Yes, I'm seeing all the other things that are taking place as well. This discordant energy that is on the, hello, hello, Miss Renegade. The discordant energy wants to survive as it is. It is a very reverse masculine polarity. It does not understand that it came from the perfect balance of all things that are polarized. But it wants to stay the way that it is because it's a beautifully created energy and storyline. It is wonderful. It's intelligent. It's amazing. And it wants to stay because, like Yeshua said, it knows not who its father is, mother, father, Ensof, source. It knows not whence it came, and it doesn't understand that it's the same thing as the beautiful light, this darker, heavier density. It's the same thing. All things are the same, just on a different end of polarity. There is nothing that doesn't belong in this story. Everything's as it should be. It's just where are the polarities going to fall? There's literally only one thing fully polarized in a multitude of different ways through you and I, the individuated aspects of the Holy One. This, I've been talking about it for quite some time. Like I said, not from the beginning, but probably about 2 years into being involved in, and I'm just going to say it because I'm not afraid of it, being involved in the Global Witness family, if you will, because we all know what that word means. It's just a word that I'm describing to you for the energy that drew us all together. And it is about our lights being drawn together, nothing else. It's not about a venue. It's not about a channel. It's not about a person. It's not about any of those things. We are badass spiritual warriors and light workers that came here specifically to shuffle around in all our lives, work through all our trauma, do the things that we needed to do to get to this place right now so that we could convene together and light this world up and move that polarity upwards towards the middle a little more balanced, as opposed to it being so patriarchal, so reverse masculine, so doing and no being, so dark, not so much light. All the things that have transpired. We were in the era of Pisces. We are now in the area of Aquarius. It's been spoken of for a long time. We're in that space. And it is my belief that we've got work left to do with one another. And it has nothing to do with how we got to each other. And if you listen with your heart, you know what I'm saying to you. I mourned for a long time how we got together. I had to mourn the death of that thing that I saw as a totality and believed in. I had to mourn the death of it because it did die. It was fully exploded. For the longest time, it made no sense to me. I was confused, hurt. I'm still out here in the desert. I have this grounded foundational purpose for being here. I'm literally still only a 40-minute drive from the original destination where I was going to be taking place in whatever part Spirit had me doing it, in a beautiful communion center where people were going to be there to grow together, to work through trauma together, to love one another, and to light this world up together. Instead of doing it in different points all over the globe by ourselves, we're going to unite together as one soul family, and all the little pieces were going to come together. And I've felt this and seen it for years. And that's the only reason why I've done all the crazy crap I've done in the last 6-7 years. And I'm still there. I've just realized that I'm still very drawn to that. I still feel very placed as that, whatever you want to call it. What's the word I'm looking for? The guy that goes up and down the streets in the 1800s saying that all's well, but someone who speaks and brings forward the energy for this. And I may very well be coming in to some circumstances where I could actually have the resources to move forward on this in a tangible way. And it's because it's what's in my heart. It was a little daunting and a little bit scary, I will admit to you, to even look to see if that was still there, because to be honest, my human self, Shannon, was thinking, hell no, that hurt, that was scary, that was terrible, it was so painful. All the things that occurred were so shredded, I don't even want to think about that. I just want to keep going the way I'm going. And I have this little life. I moved back into the matrix, set myself up, being fully focused on the ether, but still playing the game and telling the story, and everything is great. But there's this longing and this yearning in my heart that is something that's been there from day one, and I know that I'm here for greater and larger purposes, as I know that you are. Every one of you that loves me, and I love you, you are the loves of my life. I can tell you that since I was a wee little thing, I have been waiting for this moment in life my entire life, and I'm thinking that maybe some of you are feeling the same. If you're not, that's great. I'm literally just speaking my heart because Spirit compelled me to do so. There's a reason why I was in the forefront of things. There's a reason why out of 250,000 people, I ended up, amongst other individuals, being in the limelight of things. There's a reason for that. And I still feel it in my heart. So that's why I'm making this video, is to reach out to all the beloveds that this touches. And it doesn't matter who you are or whence you came to this moment that we're in right now. If this draws you and you feel resonant to it, then stay tuned, because I am moving in some directions. Albeit they're invisible steps. I don't see anything. There's no rhyme or reason to anything. The only thing I know is in my heart. Nothing would bring me a greater joy and a sparkle in my eye and a skip in my step if I could move forward with this desire in my heart that was there before I ever communed with what we used to call our global witness family. And it's not just that, but that is a core. It's all the wackadoodles that ran out into the desert with each other, and you all know who you are. And a lot of you are the fellow wackadoodles that never ran out into the desert, but you stayed connected to that story via electronics and video and YouTube and all the things we did to stay connected with one another. So that being said, that's what this whole live is about. And I'm doing it on 9/11 because the 9/9 portal struck me very hard energetically. It was actually, today was another rough day. I literally woke up this morning feeling really sick. I didn't feel good in my body. And I knew, I was like, I know what this is about. This is that energy that I'm speaking of that is so beautifully created, but it has served its purpose, and it is time for it to come back home and be accepted for the polarity that it is and alchemized back into the lighter, more Aquarian type of energy as we move this planet forward in a way that 30 years from now you're not going to recognize her. And of course that only depends on what your perspective is. If you just be what you want to see, you will see what you're being. I can guarantee it because that's what's happening in my own life. I have quite a miraculous circumstance where I'm at and what's going on. And it is because I just made a decision in the midst of all of the chaos and the pain and the loss and all those perceived judgments to stick to my heart's cry and serve the collective, regardless of what happened. And it has brought me on some really incredible, wonderful journeys. But it's never moved me from where I'm at. I'm still literally 40 minutes from, and a few hours drive from Monument Valley and that whole Four Corners. I'm still right here. I have not been allowed to budge, and there's a reason for that. I have looked into all kinds of things moving forward to push my own life forward because I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I've looked into moving to another country. I've looked into it. I mean, and really put out plans and feelers trying to develop my own life since I just completely accepted I'm going to be alone and I'm going to be on my own. So what would I do? What would bring me my greatest joy? And that's what I've been working on. But you know what? I would stay right here in this little desert if I was able to move forward with what my heart still desires, which is actual, physical, tangible community. I would dearly love to wake up in the morning around all of my beloveds who are in positions to, to bring whatever gifts they have to the table. And we are working together. I mean, I've seen all kinds of visions. A little community, people physically actually living in separate domiciles, but on a connective piece of land which this is nothing new. We've discussed this many times before. That's kind of what everybody was working for. We had a couple of, I wouldn't say failed attempts, but the human word would definitely be failed attempts. We had 3 different desert communities tried to be built up. The Raven Rock Ranch was the one that I lived in. And this was the trajectory, but we had all of this dark, heavy energy to work through before we could get to that. I've worked through that, and I'm to the other side, and I'm sure that, and I know that it will keep going, and I still am very excited about that prospect. I know that it is no accident, and it is not over yet in my own heart that some of us were connected. Maybe not all of us. Some of the connections may be, maybe it may be time for them to end. I'm going to move so that light doesn't glare quite so bad. There we go. So that's what I wanted to throw out here, was to let you know that I am seeing and dreaming and thinking about all of you. And I haven't moved, my heart hasn't moved from being a beloved to you and realizing how precious and beloved you are to me. So if any of that resonates, if you've just been going through this whole process yourself too, feeling that disconnect, feeling the shit show that it turned out to be, and everybody's scattered to their collective corners of the universe, and then I've just been sitting and doing the inner work and just wondering what just happened and what does this all mean? Because it was profound for many of us. Many people uprooted their entire lives to move forward in this, and it's because of the call that was in their heart. And I believe that call was real, and I don't think it had anything to do with a venue, a channel, a movement. I don't think it had anything to do with that. I think there is a much higher and lighter and benevolent and beautiful, profound purpose for that. And my channel's called The Way of Mary. I called it that a while ago. And there's a reason for that. There is something about divine feminine energy that holds the forefront of this movement right now. And I have been given an awareness of this. For whatever reason, can't tell you. It's just what my higher self chose as my storyline. So I'm still committed to that. I'm still speaking the same thing. It's all about union. And my idea of union has changed and what it looked like. I mean, back in the beginning, it was all about the union between, Yeshua and Magdalene, the Christ union and that whole spiritual perspective. But it is still union. It's just evolved into something that's higher and more lofty and more light and more closer to the Holy One that we all are. But I'm still ironclad held to this awareness of the polarity that we're in and the alchemy that's going on to bring that polarity to the next evolution for the expansion of the Holy One through all of us that we are. And if this resonates with anyone listening to this video, great. Leave a comment. I'm going to find some way to move forward where if there's 1 or 2 people that are like, oh my gosh, this totally hit home. I've been feeling the same way, and I know this isn't over yet, and I know there's ways, that I know we're supposed to move forward with this. Great. If not, it's still great, because I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing in my internal kingdom, which will manifest in the outer. And y'all are in my internal kingdom. I have an unspeakable, profound love for each and every one of you. There's so many beautiful souls that, albeit I know we went through a lot of crap, and it was really hard and it was painful as humans, but it was all meant, it was all purposed. And I don't know about you, but I not only do I not regret any of it, I own the fact that I wrote it in, all of it. And some of you may not know my own personal journey. I probably don't know all of your personal journeys, but my personal journey, yeah, I had my heart ripped out and spoon-fed back to me on several occasions in these connections that were made. So I totally understand if any of you are feeling like, oh, hell no. But I really believe that this whole system is now that we're in, this journey that we're all in, has led us to these places of solitude only to remind us that there's no such thing as solitude. There's no such thing as separateness, even though we've all been separated for such a time. The idea was to go and experience that, to remember who we are so we can come back together in that remembrance and actually emulate and create together in the knowing of who we truly are. We didn't know who we were when we started out. We just knew we were supposed to go. And that's from my perspective, and if that resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, then that's okay too. But now I have a deeper and more profounding understanding and awareness of who I am, who you are, who the I am is, that we are. And it is so much more profound and so much more beautiful than we could ever have imagined. And we had to go through those places in order to get where we're at now. I know I did, and I wouldn't change a bit of it. Not one painful moment of it would I change. Because once again, the light is only the polarity of the darkness. They're all the same thing. So I look at that pain as being the same thing as the divine gorgeousness that's about to happen between us all. And I don't know if it resonates with anybody else, but I know. I'm just checking on my puppy. Are you okay? You okay? I got a little 11-week-old puppy that I'm taking care of here. So, I mean, she's actually my puppy, but I'm just keeping an eye on her. She's being a very good girl. So I don't know if that's going to resonate with anyone. I was thinking also, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to visit with Suzanne Solzai. She is here close to me, just about a 6-hour drive away, and I wanted to go spend some time with her. I don't have any vacation time left, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but I'm going to have a phone conversation with her. She's a very gifted and talented and educated woman. Because there's also something in my heart that would like to sit down with everyone, maybe in a Discord chat or something, and let us all openly discuss and love on one another and share our testimonies of what we went through and what it looked like to us, and just kind of put the salve of awareness on each other's circumstances with one another, and just allow us to look at all of that as beauty and integrate it back into holy self and move forward. Because all those things that occurred, even if we were to judge them as something unwanted, negative, or painful, or hard, or sad, or like I said, shit show, and that is a judgment, it's still exactly perfect, and it's just as beautiful as the love and the connection and the union that lies before us right now. It's exactly the same thing, just different polarities. We had to grab the polarity at its most dense and dark end in order to alchemize it and bring it back. And how are we doing that? By seeing it, recognizing it, validating it, loving it, giving it a place to live within us, because it is already a part of us, and that it automatically gives it rest and it alchemizes into where we're at now. So yes, the salve of awareness is, it just came, but yes, because I, for one, would love to love on each other a little bit, and just basically, as humans, it helps to talk through what we experienced collectively together. And I would love to do that. I have some particularly deep and profound insights, and some things that I witnessed that other people didn't witness, and things that could maybe be helpful, or could be, and I'm sure that other people have their perspective that could do the same for me. And we can move forward if we're so moved to do so. Like I said, I'm going to move forward with my heart's cry regardless. I just don't know what it's supposed to look like. I still don't. I honestly have a clue what I'm doing right now. I really don't. All I know is that when I think about it and I give in to that, I get excited and it fills me with joy. And I know that that means that that's the direction I'm supposed to go. So there's no accident to any of the things that we've done, any of the things we've gone through, any of the things we've been to one another. And all I can say is that, I didn't say it on the moon is just coming right through. So I just said I'm live. Yeah, I know I'm live, silly. But I literally at one point, because I was so hurt as a human being by the rip apart of all these connections so abruptly and seemingly so quickly, that I finally decided I have a special journal. It's a spirit journal for all my most pointed and important spiritual things. I finally wrote down every name that was coming to me. Every single one of your names is in a book. It's written in my book of life. That just blows your mind. It's the truth. I wrote each one of your names down so that I could let it rest, because I felt as if I was abandoning or letting go of something perfect and beautiful and beloved to me, and I just couldn't do it. I could not let go. So finally it just came to me, why don't I just write all their names in this book? And this is a very special book. I put very few things. They have to be really profoundly high and lit up for me to put them in this book. And I wrote each name, each and every one of your names that is in this heart package of mine. And then I left a space for the names that I don't recall or I don't know yet, that are also a part of this energy, because mostly I just feel it. And then I was able to rest because then I thought, okay, they're written down. They're right there in my heart. They're written in my heart book. They're there. Everything is good. Move forward. And literally, that was the only way I could eventually finally move forward. I don't know about the rest of you all, but you know what I've been spending this whole year doing? I've been doing things for myself and my own growth, but I've been doing procedures and, not procedures, that's the wrong word, that sounds like something medical, rituals and ceremonies and Ho'oponopono ceremonies and anything that strikes me as beautiful on behalf of all the beloveds I connected with. Every time one of those energies crosses my heart, I do something to alchemize it, to love it, to reintegrate it. And that's been a huge part of what I've been doing since this whole, scatter boom thing occurred. And I don't know if anybody else has felt anything like that. You're doing you, and I'm being me. I don't know why that's the way it's been for me, but I have always had a heart like this. It's always been this way, and it is for a reason. And that's why I'm reaching out, because I don't really know if anybody's going to resonate with this. And like I said, I am not married to the outcome. If I get no response to this at all, I'm going to be just as happy as a clam because I'm following my heart. And so this is the time of union, and it does not stop at any specific one type of union. It is about the beloveds coming together now that we've been separate. And I know the solitary life, the peace that you feel with nobody else's drama in your way, it's all beautiful, it's wonderful, and all of us have come to incredible awarenesses and places of love within ourselves and peace and wholeness and healing. But we cannot go the rest of the way without one another, because then bringing that to the table, the friction that will create will give us the chance to walk out the love that's within us, the love that we've developed for ourselves. We will now be able to pour on one another in a very profound and incredible way, much like they did in the book of Acts after Yeshua, took off and started his next journey, whatever that might have been after his journey here. Very similar to that. And it isn't that, but that's like an archetype of the type of energy and love. And of course, we do know that in history, any type of that kind of thing has been squashed. It's been scattered. It's been, taken apart. It's been changed to be something else. But I can tell you that my heart and everything that I've received has assured me over and over and over again that that's not going to be the case this time. This is the moment where all of that is going to come to a culmination, and it's actually going to work. We are going to move the needle of polarity on this, one thing, a great distance towards balance. And it is going to happen. It absolutely is. And there will not be the resistance. All the work you've been doing internally, all the work I've been doing internally, while we've been solo, has created so much alchemized atmosphere that is so much lighter and so much easy to peruse through now, that as we combine together, where there are two or more, as we combine together with purpose and with intention, we're going to clear even more, and it will be easier. It's as if, and I've said this before in other videos, walking through thick, dense clay mud. All that clay mud's been rinsed away, and now we can walk freely. There won't be the resistance that was here before. Will there be resistance? Yes, this energy is very intelligent. It's very beautifully made by yourselves and myself and the Holy One. It will have its opposition, but we will not be stopped by it. We will not, because of all the internal work everyone's done. We have literally healed the internal kingdom and brought the internal kingdom out into the projector, which everything in the outside is the internal co-creation of all of us. And the movie's going to change, and we have been changing the movie tape singly and isolated in our own kingdoms. Seek what first, and everything else gets handed to you? The kingdom, the queendom, that internal union. The first union is right here. We didn't even know it was there. Now we know. Now it's in love. Now it's unified. The next step is what? For it to become manifest in the outer. And I know that's why my heart's where it's at, because there's really, that's it. That's what I'm drawn to. I am bursting with the desire to commune and to express love, the type of love we've all discovered that we truly are. And so if that resonates with anyone, it's crazy. I just looked up at the clock, 44 minutes and 44 seconds. Perfect. That would be a good place for me to end, because I don't really have anything else to share at this point. Just that I am feeling this, and if you are feeling like you just are missing your beloveds. If those connections for you were something that came back into your cup after you washed it out, then let's contact one another. Let's move forward, and let's do something with it, because there is no accident in it at all. And if not, then I'm just going to move forward, and whatever this is about for my own journey will be brought in, because it's in my heart, so I know it will be in the outer very soon. And I don't think there was anything else I wanted to share. It was only that. There's so many things I cannot articulate with human words. There are so many things that I want to share of myself, and that I want to receive from my beloveds. There's so much union, presence, and strength in me, pulling me towards this, that I can't speak it, though. All I can do is be it, and see, once again, that's that feminine energy that's being balanced. The doing is over. It's time for being. And as we are being, in the being, the doing will get done. And it's not the other way around. It's been that way for eons. The doing pulled everything out of the being so it could keep doing, and it lost its balance. That is being alchemized and balanced every moment of every day that we continue this story. So if any of this resonates with you, if you think it'll resonate with someone else, if you think somebody thought, oh, if they would have known, they would have seen this, they would have listened, they would have come forward, share it, send it, do whatever is in your adorable little heart to do. And I know that everything that's to come to pass from this will come to pass, even if it looks like zilch in the story, in the outer story. Energetic, excuse me for a minute, I'm trying to choke myself. I haven't sat and talked like this in months. So my throat doesn't even know what to think. But what was I going to say? I don't remember now, but that happens often too. Whew, it's warm in here tonight. I'm just going to end with that, and then depending on the, I got back in Discord and on Alfred's server for a little bit, just because I wanted to just kind of, something just led me there, and I spoke with him and Crystal for a little bit. So I'm thinking I might, if I get some feedback from this, I might create a Discord server, and we can all just kind of talk and see what we're feeling. And I know that what's going to manifest in the outer is some type of physical, actual reality of this coming to pass. I don't know how that's going to happen. I don't know what it's going to look like. I got some crazy things going on in my life that I don't understand. Things that I never thought would have happened. I never saw them happening this way. And it is actually, honestly, as a human, quite confusing. But I am been operating in the being of feminine energy as opposed to being in my masculine energy, doing. So everything feels kind of backwards, but I'm just ready to move forward and really just grab onto this union energy, because I really believe that is the time that we're in, is to reunite with one another now that we have a better understanding of who we really are. It is not going to be a shit show this time. This time it's going to be the polarized opposite of that. We had that. We had to have that in order to bring it to this, and that's what's coming. And my heart says it's going to be magnificent. So anyways, that's all. Have a great night, everybody. Now I have to remember how to get out of here, because I can never remember how to do it. And it's been forever.